Good morning, coming to you from our surgery center. So we're cranking through this morning's surgeries. We're in about 7 cases, and I just want to tell you about the interesting case that we've had today. So I saved a lens sticker from each case, and we can go through it one by one and show you what we got. So first patient of the day, monofocal, aspheric, single-piece lens, pretty traditional patient. Little bit of astigmatism, did an LRI for it, aimed for plano. You can tell with a power of 22.5 diopters, this patient was likely a little hyperopic to begin with. We make this patient plano OU, she'll be very happy. So that was number 1. Number 2, we're doing a Vividity lens, extended depth of focus. So this is the non-toric version, 21.5. Also, that number 21.5 makes you think, yeah, the patient was likely close to emetropia, maybe a little hyperopic to begin with. Aiming in this eye, this is the second eye, aiming for just a little more myopia. So aiming for about minus 0.5 of myopia. First eye ended up perfectly plano. Patient will be happy with that. Number 3, let's see what we got next. 3, we got another monofocal, but look at this. That's a monofocal toric, and the power is 28 diopters. Obviously a highly hyperopic patient that we're doing surgery on. And the key here is, of course, the lens calcs. Much hard to figure out exactly where that IOL will sit in the eye, the effective lens position. Therefore, the lens calcs, you really have to sweat them. And this is the first eye for this patient. We're actually aiming for a tiny bit of post-op hyperopia. So in our calculations, this 28.0 should leave the patient about plus a quarter post-op. Now, why not choose a little bit different lens power, slightly higher, and make the patient minus a quarter? I just think someone who's used to hyperopia will want to stay hyperopic. So we'll leave it as such. I think she'll be very happy. Next one again, extended depth of focus lens, 23 diopter. Now 23 is a good spot because this patient, we're aiming for a plano on the first eye. 23 means the patient's likely mild to moderate hyperop to begin with. So to give this patient the great 20/20 distance vision while we hit plano and give a little bit more range at that intermediate, I think the patient will be very happy. Then we had, this fun one, 3.0. That's a very myopic patient. So this lady, of course, is highly myopic. Axon is more than 30 millimeters. Of course, it's a 3-piece design, meniscus design. Remember what that is. If you don't know, look it up on CataractCoach. You have to understand this. So we're aiming for this patient for plano? No, not a chance. Do not make this patient plano. She or he will not be happy. This 3 diopter lens is anticipated to make the patient about minus 1 to 1.5 of myopia post-op. And that's going to be a great target. If the patient ends up a little bit more closer to plano, minus a half to minus 75, minus 1, be thrilled. And then we can take this healing into account to help hone the results of the other eye. But myopia is a gift. And I think this patient will start off at minus 18. If she ends up at minus 1, that'll be an absolute home run. Then, another straightforward monofocal aspheric lens, aiming for plano. Patient can be very happy. Routine case. Nice to have routine case in your lineup in between the tougher cases. So I don't actually control the exact lineup of my schedule. My staff helps me with that. I do like to put very difficult cases towards the end of the day, so we're not rushed. We have plenty of time. If you've got 20 cases lined up in the morning, and the first 1 case or 2 cases take you a long time because they're so difficult, well, then the next 18 are going to be late. So I'd rather put the tough ones at the end, put straightforward ones like this at the beginning, or just interspace them between the other cases. And then finally, last one so far is another DAT lens. That's the Vivity extended depth of focus, or depth of field, if you prefer. The catch there is the power 15.5. This patient was myopic to begin with. And what you really have to explain to the patient is we're taking away that myopia. The patient is probably about minus 3 or minus 4 myope. We're taking away that myopia. We're going to make you plano in this first eye, and you'll get some intermediate range, maybe equivalent to minus 1 or 1.5, but not the minus 3 or 4 you're used to. So if the patient's used to reading this close to the face, they're going to have to get used to reading it further out. And when we do the second eye, we can adjust that. So that patient requires a lot of chair time to thoroughly explain what the refractive state is going to be in the post-op period. Well, anyway, I got to get back to the OR. finish up the case for the day. But I just thought it was interesting, these first 7 cases, to kind of go over with you and think about the process and the refractive state, etc. Thanks for watching, and of course, keep checking out CataractCoach.com.